Welcome to the Gazette's Her Women of Achievement Honoree Spotlight. I'm your host, Emily Hawk, the special sections editor here at the Gazette. And with me today is our Her Honoree, Betsy Harrison with Betsy Boo's Boutique. Hi, Betsy. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Emily. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
So I will go ahead and I'll just dive right into our questions here. So first, I just want to ask you if you could tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is Betsy Harrison. I am the founder of Betsy Boo's Boutique and just Betsy Boo's kind of brand in general. I founded the boutique as a hobby 13 years ago. I was buying and joining groups on Facebook that were selling women's clothes, and that's kind of how I started. And I turned the hobby into a business. I moved from outside my basement to a couple different locations, and then now we're actually back in my basement. We're kind of rebranding ourselves a little bit and using more of the drop ship method that is so popular in today's e-commerce world. But I live in Fairfax. I have my husband Brian. We'll celebrate 20 years together, and then I have an adult son, Chase. He graduated from Iowa about a year and a half ago,
Go
and
Hawks.
it's still here. Yeah, go Hawks. It's here local, but then I do have to say, my daughter is a senior at Prairie. She's graduating actually this weekend, and she'll be attending Iowa State this fall to study biology. Yeah, so that's, I guess, a little bit about me.
Thank you for sharing all of that. So I'm just going to go ahead and dive into some more questions here. So obviously you're being recognized for your work with Betsy Boo's. Can you tell us what inspired you or maybe currently inspires you to do this work?
I guess if we could go all the way back to high school with this question. I worked for the Buckle through my high school and college years, and um, after college, I actually traveled around the United States with the Buckle, helping them open new stores as they were growing super fast. I actually even got to, I think my favorite story is I got to open the Mall of America store. So I lived up there
That's
for 2 months in a hotel while we opened up that store. It was so fun. Just the atmosphere, and back then Mall of America was a real big deal. Not that it isn't now, but it was just a cool experience. And from there, I wanted to get back to Cedar Rapids, my hometown, and decided to get back here. And I did a couple other gigs, but then I ended up in the real estate world. And like I had said earlier, I was buying and selling some things, or I should say buying things from other boutiques on Facebook um, 13, 14 years ago, and decided, hey, I could do this too. I think once you're in retail and especially fashion, like that's just kind of in your blood a little bit.
awesome.
And if it wasn't for the nights and the weekends, I probably still would be with the Buckle. However, this was kind of my answer. It was just a hobby, and I could do it when I wanted and such. And it really just took off. So the whole inspiration on that was once I just started selling a few things to my friends, like the feedback I was getting, and people just felt so good about it. And then I started creating the whole outfit together, so that women could feel confident and good in what they were wearing.
Hmm.
Um, Inspiration wise, there's so many people that have been an inspiration to me. I can't go without mentioning my mom though. My mom is Betsy. Betsy Boo's is kind of named after her. Betsy's obviously my name, but she called me Betsy Boo when I was growing
Hmm.
up. And in wanting to launch my boutique, I was trying to come up with like a clever, cute name. And I just kept going back to Betsy Boo's. She was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was in high school, and it was in remission for about 5 years, but she died when I was 23 years old, so very young. And I felt
Hmm.
like with the name Betsy Booth, she'd kind of always be a part of it.
Yeah.
So she was a businesswoman, had a very successful career with telecommunications. And I always looked up to her and just the person that she was. I always said if I could be half the mom she was, I'd be a success. And hopefully that's true.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing that. Could you maybe tell me what bold choices you've had to make to get to where you are today?
Well, Facebook came and did a whole like episode on to me on this for Women's History Month. That
Mhm.
would have been back in I don't know, it's been a long time ago. Um, but they kind of asked me that, and I really thought about that for a while. And I can tell you a few things that are the biggest, boldest things. One is never take no for an answer. When I was in real estate, I feel like everything's figure outable. So that way, no is never an answer.
Mhm.
But when I was in real estate and I kind of was just starting again my hobby of Betsy Booze, I had several other agents tell me that I was crazy or this wasn't going to work or that my idea was dumb, I guess you would say.
Mhm.
And so it was in my mind then when they were telling me that I'm going to do this. And I think from there on forward, there's been several instances where people have told me no in a certain way, whether it was trying to grow the business, to build a brand new warehouse building. No always seemed to be the first answer I would get. I guess that would probably be the biggest, boldest thing I would say. The other
Mhm.
biggest, boldest thing is and maybe bold isn't the word for it because it's to be grounded,
Mhm.
to remember where your roots come from. My motto is work hard, play hard, family first. I always
Mhm.
add that to that very clever saying that you hear so many people say all the time. And my work hard, I do work hard. My play hard for me is to travel and to be with my family. And so that's where I kind of ended up with that work hard, play hard, family first side of things.
And so that's, a perfect answer to kind of segue into my last question. So, what advice for others who are building their stories? What kind of advice do you have for them?
Yes. So I think you can almost encompass that whole last little question, wrap it up in a little bow, and I'll give that to you. Um, I love to work with young entrepreneurs. I people reach out to me all the time for advice and just to help them, even in the same business that I'm in, as far as boutiques go. And I'm always willing to help answer questions for people. And a lot of times, I'm going to tell you, everything's figure outable. Um, and stay grounded, family first should always be there for you. But I also tell people, I'm like, if you want me to give you the secrets to the success piece of it, it's not, first of all, it's not going to be yours. It's going to be mine.
Mhm.
And second of all, you have to figure it out yourself a little bit, right?
Mhm.
So don't take no for an answer. Everything's figure outable. But if you can figure out how to do it, you're going to be a success. You don't want the way I'm going to do it. You want to be able to figure it out for yourself. And if you're able to do that, that means you have the excitement and the power and the just the wherewithal to want to do it. And if you want it, you'll get it.
Absolutely. I think that's some excellent advice to end our interview here today, Betsy. Thank you again for taking the time to talk to me today and just to tell us a little bit more about yourself. And thank you to our viewers for helping us celebrate our 2024 Her Women of Achievement. For all of our 2024 Her Honoree interviews, go to www.her.today. Thank you. And thank you so much, Betsy.
Yes. Thanks, Emily. Thanks, everybody out there.